What's up, guys? Welcome back to the shop. In today's video we're going to be making a knife with these little screws. So these screws are framing screws, and we typically use them in construction whenever we're doing metal framing, and they're very little screws, and I thought I could get a pretty cool pattern if I use them versus using longer screws, and so I decided to give it a try. The good thing about these screws is since they are so tiny, I should be able to pack them up pretty well. So I clean them up with some acetone and spread them out. That way they dry out faster. And as always, we're going to put them into our can. We already got it lined with some spray paint. The reason why I do them like this is because it's a bit of a pain to be making a canister for every build that I decide to do at Canister Damascus. So I just make them in bulk. That's why I don't always show the process of making them. But I always have a few in stock in case I feel like doing a canister or something like that. And for anybody that's been following along weekly, I got some copper in powder form, and I will be working on that here shortly, maybe in the next week or two, since I already have another video lined up for next week. But the week after that I should be able to get back into that, and I have everything ready, and I'm very excited for that build. So one thing I'm doing in this build that I'm not doing in my general builds is I'm going to be making the knife strictly out of the materials that I'm using here. Normally I put a coarse steel in there, but right now I don't have any 1/4 inch steel, so I decided that instead of going that route, I'm just going to be using whatever I have here in the can. And I'm not sure how well it will hold an edge, but I am also curious, since most of my knives I always end up doing a coarse steel. It rips into the actual outer cladding whenever I grind it off, and so I decided to go this route just to get the full pattern. As always, thanks to the white spray paint, I had a fairly easy release, and that white residue that's always left on the cans is from where the paint basically burns off, and that just comes off as I forge it. So what I'm doing here is I'm forging it out to a 1/4 thickness, and from there I will be hand forging it into a chef's knife. Back on the topic of why I'm not using a coarse steel, one of the main reasons why I like making knives with screws: one, they're easily available, and two, they always come out with some really cool patterns. For some reason I always find faces in them, and just like the other ones I've done before, I'm definitely gonna find some faces in here. And stick tuned to the end of the video where I show the pictures of what I made, and pause it and look for some faces, because every time I do one of these builds with wacky materials, there's always faces that show up, and I always miss a few, but I always read all the comments, and I get different people giving me different faces that they see that I don't see myself. So that's a very cool part of making these builds. So now that I have the material ready, all I'm doing is forging the tip, and now I'm gonna isolate material for my handle. I like to isolate on the anvil because it just makes it easier to be able to section off enough material. I don't know for other makers, but I myself, for one, every time I do one of these knives, I end up either sectioning off too much material or not enough. So I've definitely been working on that and trying to get those measurements down. Since I do everything basically by eye, I gotta figure out roughly what I need. I didn't end up grinding too much material on this one, so I think I did fairly well for the most part. On another note, I've had this hammer for about a month now, and it's definitely become a main staple in my forging. It's like whenever you get a new toy and you don't realize how much better your forging skills are since you've had it. And I had the same thing whenever I got my carbide peen hammer. Well, whenever I made it, it was definitely a game changer, and now I don't have to worry about whether my knife is a little crooked or here or there after I harden it, because I know a couple taps here and a couple taps there, and I can straighten out the knife with relative ease. And so I'm definitely very appreciative of having a nice cross peen hammer now, and I'll definitely be getting more tools as I progress with my skills. One more thing I would like to add, a little advice for anybody that's new to knife making, or you're just new to making any kind of Damascus knives. I've been running into the issue where I've been forging the knife too close to shape, and not necessarily to shape, but too thin. And because of that, I've had some decarb areas where they're hard to grind, and afterwards I end up with white spots in the knife. So from moving forward, I have to be very careful with that, make sure I leave enough material to be able to grind off and have nice clean material underneath without having that issue. On a brute to forge, it's important to forge it pretty close, but on a Damascus knife, I will start leaving a little bit more material to grind off. And even though I have to waste more on materials, it's definitely gonna give me a better look at the end and a superior product. So while I'm grinding this knife, I noticed that I don't really like the placement of the handle because of the way I ended up making it. It ended up being too curved downward, so I ended up just putting it back in the forge and giving it a couple taps and straightening out the handle. With this minor adjustment, I was able to get it relatively in a better spot where it's more comfortable in my hand. The way it was curving would have been relatively okay for like a kukri or a knife where I'm going to be using it for full force whacking, but for a cooking knife, a straighter handle placement makes all the difference in making the knife comfortable for holding in your hand, especially for long periods of time. So we're at a temper and it's looking pretty good, nice and straight. So we're going to move on to our final grind. Alright, so I got this package in the mail and it was from Mike Alichua. He is out of northern Florida and he stabilizes handle material. He stabilizes different wood and different products. And he sent me this package with a whole bunch of different materials to use and test out. Honestly, this is really, really cool. Big old shout out to him. And if you want to check out any of his products, I'll have the link for his store in the description, and I'll probably pin it in a comment as well. And you should definitely go check out what he has. More than likely I will be working with him and stabilizing some materials I have myself here that I don't really want to go through the trouble doing myself. But yeah, this is really, really cool, and we're going to be using one of these for this knife. And I'm thinking I'm going to go with this one. I really like the look of this one, so I'll probably be using this guy. I need to ask them what the materials are because they didn't come labeled. But yeah, thank you very much, Mike. I appreciate the gift. Alright, so I have these two pieces. So it was a pleasure to work with this handle material, and it worked out pretty well. I'm not sure what handle material it is because I didn't ask Mike yet, but I'll definitely ask him next time I talk with him. But overall, I was very happy with the material, and it drilled very beautifully, and I didn't have any blowout like I sometimes do have in previous videos, because this time I was a lot more careful, very, very extra careful whenever drilling it. And now we're on to our glue up. As always, I like to put a little drop of dye just to hide my imperfections once I glue everything up. And fortunately, I've been getting a little bit better and a little bit more precise with my handle material and all those little things. I'm happy to be progressing ever so slightly in my knife builds, and everything's been going pretty smoothly. But I do have a question for all my viewers that watch me on a regular basis, and let me know your answer in the comments down below. I have been thinking about going into more complicated builds, not just canister Damascus as I tend to do here. I have a lot of ideas and certain things I want to make with mosaic Damascus and other types of Damascus, and the issue with those builds is that they take a lot longer to make. So let me know if you would be interested in having series builds, maybe where I work on a certain type of build or Damascus or project that takes, multiple parts, or should I just do the whole build and release it in one large video, as I tend to do whenever I do these longer video builds that I do from time to time. The reason why they're so much longer and the reason why I don't do them frequently is because I do them while I'm doing these videos, so I'm essentially working on multiple projects at once. And since I'm doing that, it definitely hinders the process a little bit. It makes it a lot longer. But truth be told, consistency is very important in growing a YouTube channel, and I don't want to not grow my channel and have it negatively impact me in the long run. So that's where I'm at right now. I'm not sure if I should take a part series, almost like Alex Steele does, where he does multiple part videos, or if I should just stick to a video and make it longer and hope that it hits. Ultimately, I'll figure it out, and regardless, I will be making those builds I want to make. They will just take a lot longer than what I would like. And if you want to help support me on my journey, you can do so by subscribing if you're not subscribed, liking and commenting on the video. And if you want to help me in a monetary value, I have a few knives on my store that are for sale, as well as you can join my Patreon that I have in the link in the description down below, where I post some things occasionally and I like to talk with my audience there. And there's lots of cool stuff I hope to be doing there in the near future once I get a little bit of extra free time to do so. And if you can't, just watching the video and the watch time is a big help regardless. So I greatly appreciate all that. And be sure to pause the video on the final pictures so you can see if you can find any wacky looking faces, because I see two already. And I see a sad ghost with a sad face on it. So be sure to comment down below what you see and where it's at. That way I can check it out on the knife myself. And as always, guys, thank you very much for watching. I greatly appreciate you. And thank you to my Patreons. I will be working on some stuff for you guys. And hopefully I'll be doing a giveaway soon for any Patreon members. So as always, guys, thank you very much for watching. I greatly appreciate it. And I will catch y'all on the next one. Peace.